Here are some animals that don't look like much, but they're absolutely dangerous. Just wait until you hear why you should never pick up this small octopus. Number 10. Malaysian ant. Armed with poisonous sacs on their body, Malaysian ants will essentially commit kamikaze in order to protect their colony. Talk about doing what's best for everyone else. These tiny little soldier ants willingly give up their own lives in the cause of protecting their colony from a potential predator. Here's more or less how a scenario might play out. A colony of Malaysian ants are hanging out. Then suddenly, a larger insect or small mammal might approach their colony with bad intentions. The Malaysian ant will literally self-destruct. They cause themselves to explode, spraying a toxic chemical all over the predator. In most cases, the predator is destroyed along with the exploding ants. As their name might suggest, they're native to Malaysia and also parts of Brunei. And as crazy as it seems, they're actually one of several insects in the animal kingdom known for self-destructing. Some termites, for example, are known for deploying a similar battle tactic when danger approaches. Number 9. Otters. The river otter is an expert hunter and is actually an apex predator in the river. Maybe otters know that they're super cute, so they use that to their advantage in the wild? Is it possible for animals to think other animals are cute? River otters can hold their breath for up to 4 minutes and can swim as fast as 7 miles per hour. While they prefer to eat fish, a river otter will sometimes settle for whatever is easiest to find. Birds, turtles, and yes, even alligators. Not even alligators can escape predation from a river otter. With bone-crushing teeth, they can easily crush their prey with a single bite. Otters often hunt in groups so they can easily clean up in whatever river they're in. Otters don't pose a threat to humans, so we're safe. In fact, we're the reason for their decline thanks to nearly 200 years of intense fur trapping. But don't worry, they've rebounded quite well, and today their numbers are estimated to be slightly over 100,000. Number 8. Bombardier beetle. If the Bombardier beetle were a human being, they'd be the equivalent of someone with a bottle of mace. It's got a pretty cool defense mechanism where they're able to spray whatever they want with essentially a super hot liquid. When they're under attack, Bombardier beetles will spray out scalding hot toxic liquid that can seriously mess predators up. Yes, actual boiling hot temperatures. These chemicals are stored in 2 separate chambers in their abdomen and are deployed through an abdomen tip that rotates a full 270 degrees. They can fire at objects from almost all angles. Now, that whole thing I said about the 2 chambers, that's really important. The chemicals in each chamber are hydroquinone and hydrogen peroxide. When they're mixed, they'll more or less create an explosion. So keeping those compounds separated until deployed through the tip is crucial. There are at least 500 Bombardier beetle species roaming all over the world. They tend to make their homes in woodlands and really anywhere moist enough to hatch eggs. So if you ever see one hanging out, try not to be on the business end of that tip. Number 7. Honey badger. Honey badgers haven't been known as a total wrecking ball. It wasn't until back in 2011 did the honey badger go viral for its toughness. It was this great video of the honey badger that's gotten over 92 million views. Ever since then, honey badgers finally got the respect they deserve. Found mostly in Africa and parts of Asia, the honey badger will eat just about anything they can sink their teeth into. These vicious little creatures only measure about 2.5 feet in length and less than a foot in height, but what they lack in size, they make up for with their attitudes. Honey badgers really will eat whatever they want. Cobras, birds, and an array of other small mammals all make for suitable meals. They'll even break into bees' nests and steal larvae. How do they get away with that? It's because of their skin. Honey badgers are extremely tough. A single honey badger has been seen taking on 6 lions at a time. They have very loose and tough skin that allows them to move around easily. So for the case of taking on the lions, the honey badger was able to turn around and bite a lion on the nose. Plus their skin is so thick, it can withstand arrows, knives, and sharp teeth. So, yeah, if you find yourself face to face with an angry honey badger, good luck. Number 6. Boxer crab. These tiny little crabs are feisty little guys. You can find them in coral reefs in the Indo-Pacific region, although you would need to look closely as they only measure less than an inch long. However, that doesn't mean they make prime targets for predators. Quite the contrary, actually. They team up with sea anemones to help fend off attackers. In exchange for feeding the anemones, boxer crabs employed their help by attaching them to their claws, and then jabbing at the would-be prey. This looks silly, but the anemones have rather painful stinging tentacles that can badly injure anyone trying to make a meal of the small crabs. As a reward for their help, the crab will gladly help the anemones collect and digest food. This has to be one of nature's more interesting symbiotic relationships. In the event that there aren't any anemones to buddy up with, boxer crabs will instead find a sea sponge or a coral for similar purposes. How cool is that? These guys work together, but not all animals will do that. Sometimes one animal will just turn the other one into zombies. Find out more by clicking here and watching this video, Things That Turn Animals into Zombies. Number 5. Flower mantis. The flower mantis is pretty and lethal at the same time. They look like a flower, and they're still a dangerous mantis. The orchid mantis is still a praying mantis, and, surprise, surprise, it got its name because of its resemblance to an orchid flower. With its 4 walking legs looking like flower petals and pretty colors, plenty of things are easily fooled into thinking that it's an actual flower. Most orchid mantises are white with soft or bright pink accents, just like an orchid. Some mantises are completely white, while others are pink or mixed colors. The interesting thing is that they can change colors depending on their environment, and they can do it in a matter of days. Of course, it's not a flower, it's actually a praying mantis trying to get a meal. This clever disguise serves a couple purposes. It's to get a meal, and also to stay hidden from predators. Posing as a flower, mantises try and catch pollinating insects such as butterflies and bees that are attracted to the flowers. However, mantises can also get something much larger, such as a bird or a lizard. It deceives many animals into stopping by for a visit. Instead of collecting pollen and nectar, bam! That guy just became a nice little meal for the mantis. Number 4. Leopard seal. The leopard seal is one of the world's largest seals, and they can take on a killer whale. Sharks tend to get all the credit for being a dangerous predator, but the leopard seal is a more unassuming creature who poses a threat of its own. The biggest leopard seals can weigh over 1,300 pounds and measure over 11 feet long. The average leopard seal can easily hold their own in just about any fight. In the Arctic, leopard seals are near the top of the food chain, and they're known to be ferocious when it comes to hunting. Claws on their fins, sharp teeth, and a powerful jaw makes them a power predator. The only creatures they're afraid of are sharks and killer whales. Adding to their cute looks is the illusion that they sometimes smile. Their lips curl upwards, so depending on how you look at it, they either look adorable or menacing. Number 3. Slow loris. As adorable as a slow loris may seem, you need to be careful around this little primate. By nature, they tend to be very slow. That makes them an easy prey for many larger predators that surround them in the Southeast Asian tropical forest. And the slow loris has eyes so big that make them look so cute. They're not regarded as a fierce predator. Fortunately for them, they do have a pretty cool protection system. Whenever they're in danger or stress, the slow loris produces venom around its armpit, and it uses venom to coat its fur. This toxic sweat-like substance is known to be present even in 6-week-old lorises, and it's actually activated by its saliva. When threatened, a slow loris will hiss and retreat into a defensive posture with its paws on top of its head. In this position, they look remarkably like an angry cobra. To add to the effect, slow lorises can even move in a snake-like fashion. This defensive posture also allows slow lorises to suck the venom from their arms and strike quickly. Because they're nocturnal creatures, they're in constant danger of their natural predators that include pythons, hawks, and orangutans. But because of their protective coating, their predators can go into anaphylactic shock quickly if they bite into the slow loris. This gives the predator shortness of breath, swelling in their throats, and an itchy rash all over their bodies in a matter of minutes. Most of the time, lorises bite their predators as a self-defense tactic since their mouths have been in contact with their own poison. Number 2. Blue-ringed octopus. Don't let the small size of a blue-ringed octopus fool you. These little guys are among the most venomous creatures in the ocean. Found in the Indian and Pacific Oceans, there are 4 different kinds of blue-ringed octopus. Here's a hint, they're all venomous. Even though they look relatively harmless and maybe even pretty cute, they're a terror to animals lower on the food chain. Shrimp, small crabs, and an array of other sea creatures are pretty screwed when they get close to these guys. And humans need to be careful as well. Even though they're small, they're extremely dangerous. It's their powerful tetrodotoxin. If you provoke them, their blue rings light up. That's when you know to get away immediately. One bite from a blue-ringed octopus would leave you numb throughout your body. Essentially, the venom blocks sodium ion channels and muscles don't get signals to move. The worst part is, there's no antidote. You'd need medical assistance fast to help you breathe. Number 1. Peregrine falcon. Roaming the skies in countries all over the world, the peregrine falcon can reach speeds of 200 miles per hour. That's just insane. If it hits anything at that speed, it's just exploding. At 200 miles per hour, they're faster than any other creature on the planet. Renowned for their famous high-speed dive, these birds of prey swoop down to snatch their victims at tremendous speeds. Because of their high-speed dive, they're among the most prolific hunters in the wild, even though they don't look like much. They hunt other birds for the most part, but they can also snag small mammals, lizards, and insects. Imagine being a small animal just chilling somewhere and all of a sudden you're flying. The average bird would have serious issues flying so fast from such a high altitude, such as lung damage. However, peregrine falcons have a cool bony structure on their nostrils that prevent them from happening. And they also have a third eyelid that helps keep debris out of their eyes. Watch this video on how animals can get turned into zombies.